travel scrolls. I am your gracious host, Mr. Bobby Shades, and this is Bridget Kiss. With that, ladies and gentlemen, I present to you the beauty of imperfection. Let's go. So, family, many years ago, I used to work with a young lady, Miss Butler. Very nice individual, really cool people. And she did whatever work she did. But at the time, at my job, they allowed for school kids, high schoolers, to come and work, to volunteer and what have you. One of them, I believe her name was Amy. My mind doesn't serve me correctly, but I believe something around there. And she was Asian, and she was autistic. And she took to Miss Butler very quickly. What was fascinating was the fact that, and she was mean too. She was a mean little girl. But whatever. Who knows if she was bullied? So that was her defense. Who knows? But Miss Butler did not allow for what society would deem imperfect, because her mind wasn't, she wasn't a fully functioning. She was fully functioning to be able to volunteer and work and to listen to directives, but to everyday life and live on her own, maybe not. But she didn't allow for her imperfection to stymie who she was and who she is, to assist and help that girl and be close to that girl and take her under her wings. You see, you look at social media, you look at all the beautiful people on there, you look at the, some of them, they're successful and they're doing Shopify and they're doing e-commerce and they just bought a house and they just bought a car and some of them may be in beautiful relationships and some of them are brands, brand ambassadors for Fashion Nova and whatever is being sold and whatever's the hot trend at the time. But behind all that, there is imperfection. There is a young lady that I follow on TikTok, Borogozovnia, something like that. She's could be Russia, could be Azerbaijan, Kazakhstan. She is Russian. That is the language, because I had someone translate for me, and she speaks Russian, and she translated something. And very attractive young lady. And she lives on this kind of a farm. She had tried her hand in modeling, but I don't know what the modeling world is in Russia. It seems very sparse and very, not what America, the major hubs like New York City and the likes would, promote models, very sparse and whatever. But anyway, nonetheless, a very attractive girl. And she lives on this farm and she does her little antics on TikTok and whatever. And it all seems imperfect. It all, guys, hold on a second. Sorry about that, guys. I so don't like that song. It sounds like it's cursing and it's not. Here we go. And I got carried away into the song, into the topic. And she makes the most of it. She allows for the imperfection of living on a farm with pigs and with very sparse conditions, and her bathroom is an outhouse and very, and also used to wash clothing and a whole host of different things. Her and her friends, they sit on a broken down chair in the middle of nowhere and they just do whatever their antics are. And she allows for that imperfection to reign through. She doesn't hide behind a very attractive face and model-like looks. And no, she doesn't allow for that at all. She just lives her life. And those little tiny understanding of being imperfect, I should say, should allow for someone to be really more who they really are. And there's beauty in that. Because if we allow for our little monsters to come together, our imperfect monsters, do you know how much better this world would be? There's a lot of falsehood in social media. There's a lot of falsehood. There's another young lady that I follow, a very attractive young lady. And she does, it's interesting because as attractive as she is, she does a lot of comedic stuff. And she had spoken once about maybe being raped. She's out in the UK and she hadn't been on Instagram for a minute. And she came on and she was sitting in her room and she was crying. And she's like, she has her dark moments, her sad moments, her difficult moments, and she was transparent about that. She was transparent about the imperfection in her life. Whatever baggage, whatever discord in her life, she carries it. And I think therapeutically, she does her Instagram and she does comedy and tiny little things, or maybe an inspirational moment, or maybe take a photo, whatever the case may be, and she allows for that to rain through, and that's beautiful. There's also another young lady, mature woman, I should say. I follow her and her husband, I believe. That's her husband. And people will diss her. She's 48, 49, quite attractive in her own right. And they will diss her, old lady, what you doing on here, doing stupidity and whatever. And she came out one day and she spoke about her daughter that had overdosed. And she says she does, and that they had a strained relationship, her and her daughter. But nonetheless, they loved each other. And she said it's therapeutic for her that her daughter would be like, "Ma, look at you, you're doing your Instagram stuff and you're getting followers and what have you." I was even able to speak to her guy on a live. Really cool dude. He's into guns. And how they get through with the imperfection of life just to make another day. To reach out to somebody, as I'm reaching out to many of you, that many of you I don't know. There's one guy on here that follows me from New Zealand, Bob Aviator. Shout out to you, sir. And just to say hello and to allow for whatever imperfections that I have, which I do have many, to reign through and to say, hey, we're all just human beings. And we're just trying to get through life. And there's nothing wrong with being imperfect. There's nothing wrong that you haven't reached the pinnacle of where you are in your life. You haven't had the success, or if things failed or whatever. I did a post about failure. What is the definition of failure? Failure is when you don't try. But if you try and you fail, you've won a bit. You've won a bit because you tried, as opposed to not trying. So I dedicate this particular post to all the beautiful people, which is every one of us, that are imperfect. I dedicate this to you guys. We're all imperfect. And we're all trying to make another dollar out of 15 cents. And we're all trying to see another day for ourselves, for our loved ones. That's it. Anyway, family, let us give thanks and praise that we are 6 feet above ground and not below, and that those in our inner circle are in the same vein. Thank you for riding with me. And like, share, and subscribe. It will do the channel a whole host of good. It will help the channel to grow. It will help the algorithm so that in the search bar that I can come up quite quickly, and it would allow for my other videos that I have posted to be lined up on the right side of the panel, so you can see other posts that I have done, that for any of you that have missed it. Please like, share, and subscribe. That's all I have for you today, family. Whatever you do today, make a statement, make the most of it, and enjoy the ride of life. My motto, my slogan, my statement, my creed: stay lovely, stay sexy, but most of all, family, please stay safe. I am your gracious host, Mr. Bobby Shades, and this is the channel Bridging Fears. Enjoy your day, family. See you in the next post.